So today we're going to be showing you guys how to make the best gluten-free French toast that you've ever made and that you've ever eaten. That's a promise. We've been gluten-free for a while now. We've ordered French toast 100 times at different restaurants.
So disappointing.
They're like the worst. They're either really dry or they're like super thin, like that nasty gluten-free bread. And
that's not what you're looking for when you go out to brunch.
Yeah, it's sad. Everybody else gets those like nice fluffy French toast.
And you're there like...
The best part is 3 ingredients. That's it. And they're gonna be high in protein.
High protein French toast, no protein powder.
0.
The 3 ingredients that you need are gonna be very basic ingredients, and they're the only thing you need to make this really great tasting French toast. We've added different ingredients that make it even better, but even if you only have these 3 ingredients, they're still gonna be the best high protein gluten-free French toast you've ever had.
100%, the best. They're gonna be the best.
You can add to it, but even if you have only the 3 basic ones, that will be just fine.
All right, so let's talk about what we need. Let's first make the base, and then we're gonna add the fun stuff after. All right, so the first ingredient is gonna be eggs, and you're gonna need 8 of them. Then you're gonna do 2 cups of oats. And finally, you're gonna do 2 cups of cottage cheese. We're gonna do things a little bit different. Since we wanna increase the amount of protein that these French toasts have, we're gonna be using instead 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt and 1 cup of cottage cheese instead. So usually it's 2 cups, but we're gonna do 1 and 1 because this Greek yogurt actually has more protein than this does. Now, it's not gonna change anything. You could actually do all Greek yogurt. I've done that, but I've noticed that the mixture doesn't come out as thick and it doesn't come out as fluffy, but you can experiment with it if you want to. And so when you're done, you're gonna have a mixture that has the eggs, the 8 eggs, the 2 cups of oats, and the 1 and 1 cup of half Greek yogurt and the other half of cottage cheese. This is all you need, but we're gonna add a few secret ingredients right here. First ingredient is gonna be a little bit of cinnamon.
I'd say the perfect amount, which is as much as your heart desires. We're gonna add in 4 tablespoons of brown sugar.
Now the sugar is completely optional. I mean, you're gonna add syrup to these things anyway. We do it because it just makes it taste better, but you can not include the sugar at all if you don't want to.
And then the last ingredient is you're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
You want to make sure that you guys are using baking powder and not baking soda. Do not use this. You want to use the powder. The powder is what's going to allow this to rise a little bit. Remember, it's gluten-free and there's really no yeast in here, so this is not going to have an easy time rising. So we cheat a little bit with this. It's not perfect. It's not going to rise like a lot, but it is going to make these French toasts a little bit fluffier. Again, this is an optional ingredient. You don't need to use it. It just makes them a little bit fluffier. Now, while this is blending over here, you want to get started on 2 things. The first thing is making sure that this is greased or buttered or oil. I personally use butter because I like the color that it's going to give it on the outside because it's going to burn a little bit. And also, it just gives it better flavor, honestly. But you can use whatever you want, just something that won't stick to the pan. The second thing is that you're going to turn that oven on 350 so that it's preheating while we're blending this all together. And then the last step right before we put this in the oven is we're gonna pour it into our tray. And now it's not gonna be thick. So if you're thinking this is gonna be super thick, it's not. It's actually gonna be very runny. So the oven is done preheating and now it's time to put it inside there. All right, so now we just put it inside the oven. As you're putting it in, you're gonna notice little bubbles forming. That's the baking powder reacting to the heat inside of the oven. That's good, that's what's gonna help it rise. And we're gonna put it inside there for a total of 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Once the French toast is ready and it's time to take it out of the oven, make sure that you leave the French toast on top of the stove in its mold for 30 to 60 minutes so that it cools off. You don't want to take it out before that because it might crumble and you won't be able to cut into it into nice thick slices like this. The longer you wait, the better the product.
All right, so we had these French toast sitting in the oven for a total of 1 hour and 15 minutes. And once you're done with them, you want to pull them out, leave them on top of the oven. I'm like super impatient and I usually want to just cut into these things immediately. But what happens if you do that is that you're going to cut into it and it's going to crumble. So leave it as long as possible on top of the oven. And then once it's cool, you can cut it into slices and they're gonna look like this. I mean, look how thick these French toasts are. You're not gonna get this at any restaurant. Gluten-free. It's just impossible. These are super fluffy and they're ready for our next step, which again is completely optional. You can throw these in the microwave in the morning, you can throw them in the toaster, but what I like to do, what we like to do here is we like to throw them on a frying pan with a little bit of butter. You're gonna see it's gonna give it that nice coating that makes it look like a real French toast. So turn it on to medium heat. We're gonna throw a little bit of butter there once it's ready, and then we're gonna throw these on there, and we're just gonna flip them, maybe 2 to 3 minutes each side, get a little browning, that's all you really want. These are already fully cooked, so what we're doing is just for aesthetic purposes only.
Now that you have the French toast ready, it's time to add on your fun toppings. I like to add on a banana or some type of carb. Remember, this French toast is really high protein, not so much high carbohydrate, so you might want to have a little bit more added to it. And I love to add the season's flavor of whipped cream. And there you have it.
Look at that. Now it's time for the ultimate test, which is the taste test. Look at these. They are extremely beautiful. I'm telling you, these are 100% real French toast, no doubt about it. And the best thing about them is that they are just nice and crispy on the outside because of the butter, but on the inside, they are still super fluffy and moist. Amazing. That's amazing. All right, so there you guys have it. This is the French toast using 3 ingredients with those optional extra ingredients if you guys want to use them. But they're amazing. These are phenomenal French toast. So give them a try. If you experiment with something a little different, let us know down in the comments because we've been making these things for years and every time I make it, I try to do something different to it. So if you guys figure out something new to try out, let us know and we'll try it out too and maybe make a new video on it.